Hi guys, welcome to another review. Chelsea versus Nottingham. I hope you enjoy this. Hi guys, so let's get into it. If you're a Chelsea fan, you probably didn't have fun. That was not fun at all. That was that was a trip down memory lane. Not very far, just last season. That was Chelsea last season. Proper Chelsea last season. Nothing special there. If you look at how the game started, you'd find it wasn't so tricky a game because Forest was open. Forest was open in the first 20 minutes. They were coming, they were trying to press up. They were not just sitting back, which means there were spaces to exploit, but our creativity is just not there. It's just not there. And that's where the stress comes in. Like with the 10, you'd expect a team that spends £1 billion to at least have a playmaker, a proper playmaker. I never thought I'd say this anytime. I never thought I'd say this. But Chelsea right now are missing Chukwuemeka big time, big time. It's like they can't really play. They can't really play without him. And the way we're all set up, man, it's just stressful to see. It's like last season we were complaining about everybody not playing to their best position, like everybody was out of position. But we are seeing that right now, which is very difficult to handle. Like if you look at how we set up with a back three. I don't even know why we are playing the back three right now. I don't know if the coach is trying to be conservative, like he's trying to be more defensive sound. So when you look at Nottingham, it's not a team that is going to score a lot of goals. It's not a team that is going to have the clean sheets. It's not going to have the clean sheets. It's not going to be fighting for European football. That's just Nottingham Forest. They are trying to build as well. They are signing a lot of players. So they are not a very stable team, but Chelsea made them look stable. That I can guarantee, which is very stressful. When you're a Chelsea fan seeing that and now the window is closed, you can even understand. So we'll look at the five main issues that this club is facing, like this team is facing. We have to look at that because the team has issues that you'd expect to be sorted out just by watching the first three games of the season. You'd expect certain issues to be sorted out because I honestly don't know why we don't have a number nine. Because if we don't have a number nine, who's going to score the goals? Very disturbing. Like when you see a team that spent so much and you expect a manager who's had a say in the acquisition of new players to at least have players in every position. But when you look at Chelsea, it's just imbalanced. It's imbalanced. Like we were from complaining last season to say uh, we had a bloated squad. We had a bloated squad last season, such that a lot of players were in the team, but a lot of them were just dead wood. We got rid of that dead wood, but somehow we are bringing in players that are not going to fit into the system of the manager, who's surprisingly part of the acquisition of new players. I don't understand that. So, anyway, let's look at the five main key points to take from this. So we need a striker. We need a striker, and we need a striker solution like ASAP. We have to have a striker. I don't think Jackson can play up there as a number nine. That's now clear. Jackson can't shoot, so he can't be leading the line. He can play the 10 role maybe better. I don't even understand how to make sense of it because the only other nine at the club right now is Broya, and wow, we are in trouble. Like we are in trouble. This makes me wonder why Fofana is even on loan because we don't have a number nine. Jackson just goes for power every time. Like, how can you be going for power every time? It's like this is the Premier League. You have to be placing the ball sometimes. You have to because power power means you sacrifice the direction, the placing, which means there's a higher chance that the ball is not going to be on target. The ball is going to go straight at the keeper because you're not trying to place it somewhere. You're not trying to find the pocket. That's one issue. And the second issue is he can't hold up the ball. And if he can't hold up the ball, how are we supposed to attack? Because your striker is supposed to hold the ball so that the other attackers can join in the attack. But he can't do that. Immediately as he holds the ball, immediately as the ball comes to him, he's trying to turn and run past the defender, which is not always a bad thing, but when there's a plan for that. But clearly, right now, it looks like there's no plan. So that's one concern. We need a striker. I don't know how Poch is going to solve that, but we have to just do something to get that sorted out because the more we play Jackson as a nine, we are sacrificing goals and we need the goals. It's not even rocket science because if we can concede one per game, we have to score at least two per game for us to be in a good position. If we look at last season, we had a horrible season not because we were leaking so many goals. We had a horrible season because we were unable to score goals. If a team put a goal past Chelsea, it was very hard for us to come back and yeah, and that spelled a very terrible season for all of us. For as long as we could remember, like for me personally, I don't remember a season as bad as this. Like there are seasons where we finished 10th, but we were scoring goals. So that's one thing. That's one thing. That's one thing. So we can jump on to the next thing. Yeah. So the next thing, the issue of the playmaker. That issue is not a small issue. That's not an issue where we can say we can overlook it until January. No, 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 no. We can't honestly think we're going to attack through the wing backs, which of course are not even that effective at the moment. No disrespect to Chua and Malo Gusto. By the way, Malo Gusto is someone I'm really starting to admire. The Malo Gusto situation can be just like the Cesar Aspilicueta story because Aspilicueta was not brought in to be that main man. No, he was just a cheap backup who ended up being a club legend. Total class up to the end. That's why I'm saying Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto has been brought in to just fill in case James, the James issues. James is always out. James is always gone with injury, like almost every time. So he's brought in through that line of thought, but he had a decent game. That's one person I used to observe. He did what he could do. And the next thing is Chilwell. Come on, Poch. For what reason? I fail to understand. Chilwell, like attacking wise, is really off form. He's just a guy who runs until the ball crosses the byline somewhere there and he comes back. He can't really shoot. He can't really put proper crosses in the box. Not that there's someone who's even gambling to go for the same crosses. So like everything is just all over the place. If Chilwell can't play, start someone else. Start Kukurea or start Ian Matson. Of course, the kid has a lot to learn, but at least this is the best game you can play him. This is Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest is not going to attack most of the time. You are going to attack as Chelsea, but why didn't he just put Ian Matson to just try to attack? Because if you look at the way we played, we were trying to play through the wing backs, and the wing backs were not effective. And there's nothing we could do because we don't have anyone to play behind the striker. That's it. And everybody is like out of position. Gallagher is playing a slightly deeper role, and Enzo is given the license to move around. I don't see how that makes sense because Enzo, of course, Enzo is a little bit of everything. He can defend, he can attack, he can create. But one thing we know about Enzo is like his vision. He's able to spread the play. But why are you playing him behind the striker? Where is he going to pass the ball? Like his long range passing, you are just killing his game. Just make him play deeper. Meanwhile, you put Gallagher. Gallagher is supposed to now play deeper. The guy we know is always going to give away a yellow card. He's known for cynical tackles. His best position is behind the striker because at least he knows what to do in that 10 position. That's the best bet we have. But I don't even understand. I don't even understand this, like what he's trying to do. We are going to go through the whole series of everybody playing in the wrong position, which sucks. So that's the issue of the 10. I don't know what you guys think about that, but we really need a solution to that because bringing in Palmer is like going to compete with Madueke and going to compete with Sterling. The one position where we have like two players competing, that's where we end up signing a player. I don't know. Like if Palmer was a 10, believe me, Guardiola was going to keep him. But when you look at someone who can run with the ball through the middle of the pack, who's that? Nunes at Wolves. And Guardiola had to get that player and got rid of Palmer because he needed someone who can play through the middle. Right now, Chelsea doesn't have anything through the middle. And it's so sad that the window closed yesterday and today we are mourning about players who are injured. How come? I don't see how that makes sense because we had time to see. We had time to assess. We had games before this game. And the issue of a 10 was raised by almost everyone. But that's just somehow not sorted out, even up to now. No, that's not good. That's not good. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully there's change there. Hopefully there's change there. So the third issue that I saw, is the formation. If we can play like that against Nottingham, I don't know if the better teams are even something we are considering as teams we can beat. We can't beat anyone in the top 6. We just can't. If you look at our preseason games, we played the back 4. And it was back 4, 2 DMs, 3 attacking players, and a 9. So it was a 4-2-3-1. And after the changes, it became a 4-3-3. And we were flourishing under that formation. And I don't think there was anything wrong. So right now, the best thought that I have is Nkunku being injured. That's the only reason I can think of why this guy decides to change the formation. Man. That whole formation was supposed to be built around Nkunku. That's what Poch is telling us, because if one player gets injured and the formation changes, it means he was the key. We are trying to build the team around Christopher Nkunku, and right now I have to say I do miss a player like Joao Felix, because he knew, at least he knows what to do around the 18 area. He can move, he can switch, he can link up with guys, but right now we can't. And the worst thing is we can't even shoot. And the worst thing is we're playing a formation which takes away from our creativity, because if we have like 2 DMs and at least we have Gallagher in the 10 position, that makes it easier for players to push up, and we have more numbers in attack. And you know what sucks? Like all this time around, we're crying for a sweeper, like a defensive midfielder. And when you look at how Caicedo played, he was pushed way up, such that because we were not creative, such that we're not even stretching the play. I, I honestly don't know what we were trying to do. You can tell from the 60th minute that we were not going to score because nothing was working. I think Poch really needs to be brave. And this is now a thing for Chelsea managers. It's like that's why I always have this feeling that despite we can spend all this money that we're spending, we really haven't found a manager for it. Let let's just take Ten Hag for example. Ten Hag, I don't really rate Ten Hag that high as a manager, but one thing I respect about him, when he wants to attack, he attacks, sticks by his guns. If you go down, yeah, you go down like that. But you fought your way. You tried to make things happen your way. When you look at last week, last weekend, West Ham West Ham beat Brighton, but Brighton played their game. They lost while playing the way they play, such that this week the same game got them the points, and 90% of the time their way of play, their style of play is going to get them the result. But for us, it's like we are just supposed to worry about not conceding first and foremost. I don't even understand that. We're supposed to worry about not conceding and then we focus on scoring. Why can't we just play our game? If your strongest game is uh what? 4-2-3-1. If that's our strongest formation, why can't we just play 4-2-3-1? If it exposes us, then the target should be we score more goals than we concede. But right now, it's like, let's try not to concede. But this is a Premier League. Teams have quality, teams are going to score. Even the great Man City can't keep a clean sheet, for God's sake. Like, you have to play your game. Every other team is winning 5, not 5-0, 5-1s. That's what they are winning. And they are the best teams in the league. But they can't keep a clean sheet because everybody has to play their game and teams have quality. They're always going to score. But if a manager is always conservative, like he's always held back because they want to keep a clean sheet more than they want to implement their style of play and actually dominate teams and actually score goals, it's always going to be a problem. And at Chelsea, we've had like a series of these. We've had a series of these. It's now like fourth or fifth manager. Only Sarri, I can say Sarri was playing his style of play, regardless. Sarri was playing that short passing game, regardless of who came. We can concede here and there, but we were managing to score goals because that was a formation. But right now, it's like instead of trying to go for something, we're trying to avoid something. So this issue of the formation, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. It's all over again. Like you're trying to see Conte or I don't know, just trying to play the back three in the name of trying to not concede and catching teams on the counter and really trying to. It's a disgrace. That's what it is. People have to be brave. Poch has to be brave. If you have to run a team like Chelsea and you have to lead them to a title, you have to be brave. That's just it. Yeah, anyway, it's games. It's games. We move on. So the fourth thing that I saw today that was very surprising to me was the substitutions. I don't even understand those substitutions. There were okay, maybe I don't know. Some of you are tactical will say no, but I didn't see any tactics in those substitutions. Like Sterling stayed on. We had like three wingers on the pitch. Even brought on Mudrik, which was for me it wasn't even that good of a sub. Like if there was a game where I thought like, okay, Modric should just sit this one out, was this game, because when you look at this game, Modric had nowhere to run. After those guys scored, Forest had to come back. They had to be compact. They had to have a low block, which means we didn't stretch them ever. Like, where is Modric going to run? Nowhere. So he could have sat this one out. But that's the problem. The imbalance that's there. Like, if a team is struggling, I understand if a team is struggling and they put on two strikers up front and then they start crossing in, like just trying to lob crosses into the box. Hopefully the striker catches the ball. I understand that. But having like a load of wingers just like surrounding the box, guys who can't even get the space to shoot, how can you score? How can you score? Honestly, how can you score? Oh man, that's really frustrating to watch. That's really frustrating to watch. I hope we don't see something like that again. I hope our manager just comes back to his senses, because we're not going to win games like this. We are not. We are not really going to win. Yeah, yeah, guys. So, the fifth issue that I saw is our goalkeeper. Man, wow, the goalkeeper like Sanchez. I don't know what's up with that guy, but he's not really. Wow, he's like the most unconfident keeper we've ever had. Like, I've seen. Ah, man, he reminded me of Turnbull. Like, so unconfident. I don't even know what he was trying to do most of the time, panicking, even when he was just supposed to pass the ball. Just, I don't know what he's trying to do. And a lot of people really, really used to criticize Kepa for all these mistakes he used to do. But Kepa was always confident. Kepa was always that guy who you'd say he's a confident guy. No matter how bad his day was, he was always confident, always talking to the defense, always, always looking like that guy who knows his worth. But our keeper right now, oh man, that we gave away keeper for that. Like, we gave away Arita Balaga for that. Really? Oh man. Ah, right now, I never thought I would be saying this, but this season is really, really turning out to be a handful. It's really, really turning out to be a handful. After the season we had, we should be sorting out those issues. Like, how was he even a free agent to start with? You out makes me wonder. Like, if he was such a good keeper, Brighton would have probably held on and just tried to suck some money out of him before they let him go. But oh man, it's like Chelsea is now a joke. Chelsea is now a joke to a certain extent that I'm seeing players that are on Chelsea and then I'm thinking like, wow. So this is Chelsea right now, like a team which used to have Petr Cech, Kudicini, like legends. People used to dream of playing for Chelsea, guys. Like, we have to be serious. Now we have Sanchez as our main goalkeeper. That guy, he shouldn't be our first choice. He shouldn't be our first choice, but when it comes to our manager, he just looks on paper like who has the more games, who has I don't know if he who has more achievements or what. Try the new guy on. Take the risk. That's what makes a great manager. I think that's what makes a great manager. But anyway, these such issues are Chelsea issues. We have to get used to them by now. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. The rest of it, at least enjoy your Sunday. Try to catch a few games. Try to watch Inter Milan. I really recommend you watch Inter Milan because Inzaghi can just be classified as the most underrated manager of all because he plays the back three, but he plays two up front. And when he plays two up front, he attacks. Like, this system is supposed to thrive on wingers, like the wing backs. But for him, he finds a way to even attack through the middle. He makes Chalanolu sit back, and then Mkhitaryan and Barella do the creative work infield. And they have results from attacking the play infield. They usually attack through the wings, but when needed, they attack through the middle. That's what we're trying to see. Please, Poach, we are trying to see some attacking creativity. Okay, guys, for now, I have to go. I've complained a lot. I've complained a lot, which I never expected after we spent a lot of money. But anyway, the season is still young. Things can turn around. Let's keep moving forward on to the next game. Have a good weekend. See you guys.